Oh boy, oh boy. All I could say is wow. Halo Infinite update for March 2022 is not looking good, guys. I've been really critical about Halo Infinite on a couple key things. Number one, I have said since the beginning that the core gameplay experience, while phenomenal, suffers from some significant server side issues. Latency is becoming a massive, massive problem. We've seen Big Team Battle go essentially offline due to matchmaking issues for quite some time. And while it is stable in a much better way, as in playable, there's still a lot of issues with the server connectivity side of things. I've also been critical that there were a lot of key features that were present in Halo Master Chief Collection, that were present in Halo 5 Guardians, that are not present in Halo Infinite. Namely, the way to track your progression, to give you an overarching Spartan rank, or to give you some sort of in game progress meter so you could see if you're getting better or not. These are pretty simple things. These are things that are not revolutionary, that have existed since the dawn of online gaming. Let's see what Halo Infinite has to say via 343 Industries. Hello, everyone. I'm here to answer some questions about what's going on. They start off with what they call the Halo Infinite Team Priority Order. Number one, addressing issues negatively impacting the player experience. Okay. Number two, completing Season 2 and delivering it as promised on May 3rd. Number three, continuing work on campaign co-op Forge in Season 3. They do mention, this is the first time I've seen this, that they have a Priority Zero, which undergirds everything we do. I love undergirds. Interesting word choice there. Namely, team health, with an emphasis on getting ourselves into a sustainable development rhythm so that we can deliver great experiences. Priority zero means that sometimes we need to move slower so that we can move faster later. Frankly, these last few months have been slower than we expected, and we thank you for your patience. All right. Priority zero means absolutely nothing to the end customer. And that doesn't mean to say I don't care about people's mental health. And that doesn't mean to say that I don't understand that people make games. However, a company as mature as Microsoft, as mature as 343 Industries, doesn't need to be redefining corporate policies and corporate practices this late in the game. This is something I would expect from an indie studio, maybe one or two people who bit off way more that they can chew, not from a fully fledged multi billion-dollar company that has practices and has experience when it comes to releasing very complex pieces of software for years. So I don't understand why they're saying this. It's no secret that a shit ton of people have left 343 Industries. A lot of them very agitated with what happened behind the scenes. We may never know the truth. However, this priority zero is nonsense, and why it is listed first in this blog is beyond anyone. Nobody cares. Microsoft, you need to clean your house. It's not a problem of the end gamer. And that's not me being a spoiled brat gamer. That's just common sense of an engineer who works in a professional environment, who works with other professionals in other companies. When I hear this kind of nonsense, the first thing that comes to mind is red flag. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the addressing critical issues priority one. This makes the most sense. This is the truth of what they're working on. They want to make sure that if there's any negative issues, that everybody stops and works on them, the hot list, so to speak. We've seen this with Big Team Battle. We've seen this when something doesn't work properly. All development stops and everybody laser focuses on a hot fix. And that's a very, very smart way to do things. What I don't understand is why the hot list goes on to talk about things like the Spartan career, which they go on to say that this was something that they never really thought about. This is what they're calling their quality bar. Newsflash, guys, don't ever take away from the gamer and then again take away from the gamer because they demand it and you have to pull resources to give you what they already had. In other words, the development for Spartan Career shouldn't take away from other key features because Spartan Career should have been in there in the first place because it was in every other game. Look at what happened with Battlefield 2042 and look at the sheer amount of development cycles that they are doing to fix things like add a scoreboard. These are things that are just synonymous with multiplayer gaming suites. Well, they should have been, and clearly they're not. So, not a big fan of them mentioning Spartan Career here. This really just feels as an apologetic hodgepodge at this point. And while I do agree that the hot list should always focus on critical issues, adding in features that should have been in the base game shouldn't take away from anything else. That's really stupid. Really stupid, 343. Get your shit together. So they talk about a little bit about that. Okay, good, got it. Similar to what we do with Master Chief Collection, rolling out sprints and flights. Okay, good, got it. Priority 2, shipping Season 2. And this is our first teaser for Season 2, which is Lone Wolves, which actually looks really, really cool. We get to see some of the 2 new Lone Wolves. These actually are named Spartans. You can see here we got Spartan Sigrid Eklund on the left and Spartan Hyudin on the right. You learn more about them and spend time with the commander, Lorette Argano, who you hear all the time. She was the woman who was in a lot of the promotional material. As you dive into Season 2's story, which is going to include a mix of cinematics, story-themed events, and Battle Pass items. Awesome. This is exactly the kind of content I want and everybody else wants to reinvigorate the community, to get us to log in, to get us to play. Give us themed events. Give us good story elements to sink our teeth into. Don't expect people to come back and play week after week after week for stupid emblems or stupid little tchotchke kind of charm throwaway things that nobody cares about. Instead, focus on reasons for people to play the game. And this sounds like a perfect reason for people to play the game. I'm incredibly excited for what this could culminate into, and I really want this to amount to something. During Season 2, they'll also be working on playlist updates, balance changes, new modes, and new maps. Great. Balance changes probably should happen instantly. They don't need to wait for a new season. Playlist updates, new modes and maps, I understand you want to kind of string us along. We're waiting for Infection. We probably won't get until Halloween of this year. I understand. We really want King of the Hill. We'll probably have to wait till later to get that. Okay. I know you're dripping and pulling it along. I get it. It's a 10-year model. You want to spread it out. Maybe work a little faster, 343. And if you guys have looked at the Steam numbers lately, but they're in the toilet. So you need to do something to get people excited about your game. Okay? Priority 3 is definitely not going to get people excited to play your game. The reality is we're going to be taking more time to land a high-quality, featured 4-player cooperative experience in Halo Infinite, and they are committed to the great 2-player split-screen co-op. However, this will not be ready at the start of Season 2. They're looking to deliver some of this later in Season 2, and we'll share release date for that later on. Forge mode, something everybody has wanted since the beginning, and honestly, the single best tool to get people invigorated in their game is to allow people to create custom maps and modes which revolutionize the genre. You ever heard of a little game called Defense of the Ancients? It spawned into an entire massive genre of gameplay was created in Forge mode. Look at the amount of players still playing StarCraft 2, and look at the sheer amount of arcade and custom games that are available. Look at the healthy group that still plays Halo Reach as part of the Master Chief Collection that includes a litany of fun custom game modes, all which ride on Forge. So what do they say? Forge isn't coming. We want to deliver it with Season 3. Maybe. We'll have something to announce at a later date. Maybe. Not good. Not good, guys. This is a major, major, major oversight. Joseph Staten, I know you were hired to come back and to fix things, but writing a blog post of excuses and writing a blog post of announcements that are going to come at a much later date are not helping you right now. Get your act together.